Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. Is 2027 here already for Tinubu? The hawks are at work. Now, in Africa, the impression is given, rightly or wrongly, that political timing is not of the essence. And political scientists would tell you it is. On the African continent, a so-called dark continent, where politics is a zero-sum enterprise, playing by the rule book is out of the question. In Nigeria, our Nigeria, the next general election, which comes up every 4 years, begins the day you are inaugurated. A group known as the Consolidated All Progressives Congress Grassroots Movement, or KEGRAM for short, says it has commenced grassroots mobilization for President Bola Tinubu ahead of the 2027 general election. To the chairman of KEGRAM, Salisu Magaji, Tinubu's political feats since assuming office in May 2023 is the key. Is he right? We'll interrogate that this morning on Politics, Homo Politicus. Now, welcome. Let's introduce our guests. Tochukwu Ezukama is here. Tochukwu is a town planner, biographer, and national affairs commentator. Tochukwu, I greet you.
Thank you very much.
He's joined by Cyril Abaku, broadcaster, communications expert. Cyril, I greet you too.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, gentlemen, is 2027 too early for President Bola Tinubu?
In a way, yes.
Given what I...
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
The thing is that Tinubu is the president, and he has the presidency gives him the opportunity to make his case or sell himself to Nigerians. After 4 years of his presidency, Nigerians will be in a position to say, wow, he has done an exceptionally good job, we want him to continue. Or say, wow, he has done a terribly bad job, we want to kick him out of that office. So such groups that prop up here and there and give themselves one colorful name or the other and arrogate to themselves the power or the right to do this or do that for the presidency, I think they are all opportunistic. But that's politics. It should be...
That's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game, yes. But it should be the opposition that at this time will be opposing, that is politicking in opposition. Unlike in Nigeria, where after an election, the opposition fizzles out till a few months before the next election, they come back up. The opposition should maintain the momentum. The opposition should be on their toes. And in some countries, even the opposition put up a shadow government. They have a foreign minister, and they kind of follow up with the governing party and provide their alternative, what would have been alternative to what the ruling party is doing. And on a continuous basis till the time of election. I wish that happens in Nigeria. I think P2B has been on his toes. He's been speaking on almost every issue, which is what opposition should be about. But for the Tinubu group, I think it's too early, and I don't think it's necessary because the president has the opportunity to prove himself to Nigeria between now and the next election.
Yeah, Cyril, we've been a long time coming, considering this, Just the other day we heard that former vice president, and for that matter, the presidential candidate of the main opposition PDP was also warming up for 2027. Too early?
Well, I'm not aware of that of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, but I agree with Tochukwu Ezukama to the fact that when you have won an election or when election season has closed, it is the opposition that has the responsibility, not essentially to campaign, but to be up on its toes and to provide an alternative.
To keep the
power in check.
Although on its toes.
In the manner of speaking, it becomes unwittingly a platform for them to make themselves stay in the news in a way that the government in power may not have the liberty to do. And in the manner of speaking, the AC and cut that sort of character between 2011 and 2015, when they provided a very, very strong, sometimes misleading, sometimes just being vocal, but on almost every issue. You recall how Lai Mohammed was always issuing statements. The president had breakfast, there was a press statement to counter it. The president used the convenience, there was a press statement to counter it. Whether for good or for bad. Sometimes we even began to ask, does this opposition have any alternative opinion? It's not just enough to shoot down what government is doing. What exactly opinion? That sort of argument even came up. But the matter really has come to be and remains the fact that in the material case before us, 2027, is it coming too early or too late? I tell you what, the first meeting of the inaugural meeting of this of the groups in question took place.
The program.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've read a number of reports. I've seen one, DOJ, Disciples of Jagaban, and then the second again. So these groups have had meetings. Okay, I think the first one was over the weekend or 2 weekends ago at a military club. That's according to the report I read. If it is true indeed that they've held meetings and this is already coming out to the public domain, and I have not had the president or presidency come out to say, you guys don't distract us, you guys you don't have the backing of our principal.
You expect the ruling government to do so, ideally?
Yes.
Okay.
Ideally. But the fact,
to show it is not in cahoots with them.
In cahoots with us, but the fact that they've not said anything to, sort of gives one the impression that there's a subtle, which means that in the estimation, this is assuming without conceding, that in the estimation of the government, of President Tinubu or his handlers or the APC as a party, because the CAGRAM is Consolidated All Progressives Congress. I mean, this is like saying the party has created a wing to do what it cannot do by proxy. So if this is if this is where we are, it means the government does not think that 2027 is far away. This is politics at its most pragmatic, if you like, out of the book pragmatism. The question is, shouldn't a man's performance in 4 years be the reason why he should be re-elected? But this
rejected.
You're rejected. This is barefaced politics. The other mindset was about.
Cyril, but you and I live in a country where we think and know that politics is the game. There's nothing else. The politicians, they are professional, and so you can't think of anything else.
Yeah, so the point again is you're very right in saying that politics is the most lucrative industry in Nigeria today. Surviving, of course. It creates the highest number of jobs, it pays the highest salaries, it does a lot of things. But the question in the end becomes one, which is to say, the presidency, the political parties, the opposition, the watchers like us, civil society groups and so on, what the ruling party does has a way of sending a signal to the other stakeholders in the process, whether to do or not to do. But the fact that the presidency has made, no, not the presidency, CAGRAM, or whatever it is, has made 2027, has put it on the headlines, tells you that we are now a very long way from anything older than politics, and I don't think it's going to help us in any significant way.
And Tochukwu, I've read, and I'm sure you have too, that as many as 25 political groups have reached INEC for registration. What does that tell you?
More political parties are registering.
25, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Supposedly they should be motivated by ideologies and philosophy. And we have so many brilliant people with different political ideologies and philosophies. That would be wonderful. But the Nigerian aberration is that most of these parties are motivated by self-interest, opportunism.
Tochukwu, that's the name of the game. Politics, interest-based.
Yeah, human behavior is determined by interests. That's why the socialists advance socialism, the communists advance communism, and so on and so forth. But those interests should be subordinated to the collective good, to the public good. And when it is not, something naturally goes wrong in the country. So the multiplicity of political parties is not fundamentally wrong. So let them go ahead.
In itself.
Yeah, in itself.
Yeah.
Let them go ahead and get registered. But there should be regulations guiding these political parties. In some countries of the world, if you can't win 5% of the vote, you're deregistered. Or if you can't get any member of your party into parliament, local parliament, national parliament, you're deregistered. The thing is that Nigerians are beginning to more and more lose trust in INEC. So if INEC is a responsible, disciplined, respectable institution that can regulate the political parties, and it's all fine, but INEC has a
except that I'm not discussing INEC here. You know,
it's fine.
I just threw that in.
They presented themselves to INEC for registration.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can't discuss the matter without
If they pass the test, it is just as well INEC might register them.
Of course.
But Cyril, in Africa, as you know, many countries are dealing with terms for government. Should it be 7, 6, or 4 years? And for that matter, some others have talked about the legislature. Should the legislature be a unicameral or bicameral one? And it appears we're still at home. We are not at home yet.
No, we won't be in a sense, because I doubt if on the continent today we have any country that has a political system that has a vote from within. That in itself is a problem. Everything we've done has been borrowed, and borrowed very badly. In Nigeria, for example, we've experimented with parliamentary democracy. I wouldn't say it crumbled. I would like to say we killed it. Then, when the Second Republic came along, we experimented with constitutional democracy. And today you want to ask yourself, are we better off as a result of our constitution? I don't think we are. So fundamentally, there's a problem, there's a crisis of identity, who we are as against what we're trying to become. We were not particularly a democratically oriented society.
So we deserve what we're getting now.
Well, so this is what I'm going to say, right? We deserve because we are the creators of what we are getting. But there are two sides to me when I look at this particular issue on the table, which is about 2027. The president is here to spend a full year in office. He's barely
6-7 months.
He's barely ensconced in his seat at Aso Rock, and they've already said this man is going to get a second term. Now, a part of me just likes politics, because for what it is, just to look at it from a very disinterested, dispassionate point of view, to say X happened, Y reacted, and this drama. But again, there's also a side of me that is seriously and strongly constrained by my moral convictions that says, is this right or wrong? Let me come from the first prism, which is basically the part of me that just enjoys politics for what it is worth. You know, this president, he is not a war president. He's Jojo. He likes to make a lot of friends. The question is, why go to war when we can be friends? Whichever way we can get it. As I speak to you, our president has friends in the PDP, friends in
across board,
in LP, friends in Accord Party, friends.
Name them. Name them.
So this president is not playing APC versus PDP politics. At the core of him, he is playing the politics of all willing fellows come together. Let's have a good time together. So even if you're in the PDP, you are more amenable to working in his favor than in the favor of your party. He's not interested in political party structure. It's like a rule without
or rocking the boat.
No. Don't rock the boat. The question is, why do you want to rock the boat? We can have a settlement. We can discuss terms and why rock the boat?
There's a lot to live for.
When we cannot. That's our president for you.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So to that extent, it will be difficult to look at a country in which in the next 4 years they're going to have a very strong opposition
Yeah.
It's not for if you don't.
But is that good for us?
Well, so this is where my other side comes in. The side that is concerned by my moral convictions and to say, look, shouldn't we be talking about values and talking about what's right and wrong? To be campaigning for a second term when you have barely spent 5 months in office, that should be taken as an electoral crime. By INEC. This is the reality. You see now, there are 25 groups jostling for INEC recognition. The reality is that in 2003, when Ghanifami went to Supreme Court to obtain a famous judgment that said anybody can register a political party, Nigeria is not a three-party state. I don't know if you recall.
Oh, yeah.
2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, and 2023. How many of the parties that they normally register prior to an election have remained after the election? None. You hear all kinds of parties. Sometimes you hear INEC has registered almost 100 political parties. And you're asking, how did they even come about? Did they even win a single seat? Why don't you have a calibration in the electoral system in which, if you register this year, you cannot run for the president
you also talk about trust in politics.
Of course.
There seems to be mutual distrust and mutual mistrust.
No. What normally happens is this. Citizen Jones. When you hear stories of a politician said this, and I mean we've had people that came on national television and threatened fire and brimstone in the night. In the morning, they were back on the morning show and said the exact opposite of everything they said prior.
Because they forgot what they said yesterday.
Selective amnesia.
Yeah, but that's politics.
Maybe mistakes become by the following morning it's an entirely different ball game. You see, there's something very different.
Keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing. But the man who said one thing yesterday and saying something else today is happier for saying what he's saying, for changing his position.
But you remember the late Napoleon Bonaparte made a famous statement: if your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt him.
Of course you don't, because, and again you see, yes, but sometimes be careful also, because those who think that this Kagram is making a mistake have better thought twice. No, they really better thought twice.
Yeah. Oh, it reminds one of the Abacha years. Youth earnestly, you remember things like that? Yeah.
Youth earnestly
ask for
Abacha. There was the 1 million march in Abuja.
Mad 1 million madmen march, or I've forgotten.
There were a lot of groups cropping up.
Tochukwu, but he has denied that.
Okay, he denied all that.
Yeah, he did.
Don't be surprised that by January next year, you may hear that of the existing, I don't know how many parties are in Nigeria today, but of the existing. Officially,
Cyril and Tochukwu, as we sit here, 18 registered parties. Yeah.
Don't be surprised that by January, you may have these new parties have registered, and you hear that 20 of the existing parties have said that in 2020 they will not fill the candidate except.
But that's politics.
Yeah, but you made an interesting point that our president is not a war kind of president, a kind of George kind of president. And considering his antecedents, the way he does things, and the kind of friends he has across board, by 1927 the opposition will be either very weak or non-existent. 2027 will either very, very weak or non-existent.
So we might as well discuss 2027 from here.
No, now you see, and I mean, I'm glad he has deepened that thought just now. You see, the fact that you're going to see a case where the president. It will be.
We'll receive Kagram in audience.
It may be one step short of declaring that he's already president without even the election. Because again, the question is, it's a matter of strategy. It's a matter of, much as like I talked about my moral side and my political side. Yes, but the point is, if he's not breaking any law, and if we have nothing to hold against him, by, I mean, in light of law. And if people come out and say willingly that they will not field any candidate for the presidency except Mr. President.
If all the political parties do that.
Why shouldn't we count that for a political masterstroke? Why should we?
Can there be democracy without opposition? So if the opposition fizzles out.
No, the law does not say opposition must be there.
Yes.
No, democracy implies or expects that opposition must be there. The law assumes that opposition is there.
Tochukwu, in the United States of America, the Republican Party is in charge of the House, but they had trouble picking a successor to the ousted speaker.
Exactly. Opposition.
So would you say the Republican Party in America is an opposition party at that point?
No, they are not.
The president is the president is democratic. The Democratic Party is an opposition party. Yes, although the power is even divided in a more complex way. Some dominate the House, some dominate the executive.
So there's a balance of power or something.
So sometimes, yes. You asked a question about bicameral.
Or unicameral legislature.
I think Nigeria needs a unicameral legislature because there's no difference between the Senate and the National Assembly.
And the House of Reps.
House of Reps. In the US,
Not House of Reps, House of Reps.
Reps.
Okay.
Representatives. Sometimes it's but the thing is that in the US, the congressmen, that's the what do we call it, members, representatives, are elected for 2 years.
Yeah.
And the senators are elected for
They have
6 years.
midterm elections.
And they're elected for 6 years.
Yeah.
So
The system there has perfected that.
Yeah, a man that comes to office with 2 years to do his work has a different kind of mindset or focus from a man that will be there for 6 years.
Let me pause you.
Yeah.
Should we bring that here?
No.
What I mean is...
There's no difference between
the
two. You elect the senators for 4 years, you elect the members of House for 4 years. In other countries of the world, there are obvious differences. In England, for example, you had the House of Commons and then the House of Lords, because the Commons are the masses. If they come with this revolutionary zeal, they will turn the system upside down. So let's have the House of Lords, who are more conservative, wealthier people, to kind of overlook what they do. So the differences were obvious in different countries, but in Nigeria there's no difference. This one is called Senate, this one is called National Assembly, but there's no remarkable...
I asked Cyril earlier on if we produce what we get now.
We are not producing what we get. It's not...
Tochukwu, we merit what we are getting because it appears we are at home with it.
It's the military mentors and whoever they call.
No, I don't. Are you saying we have not recovered from militarism?
You sow a seed, it germinates into a tree and blossoms. And then overnight you say, oh, the seed that was sowed 200 years ago. Is that what you're still talking about?
No, Cyril, help. Okay, let Cyril help us here. Help us here, Cyril. The military quit, I know some would say, grudgingly, in May 1998. 1999, rather. Have we not recovered enough, long enough?
No.
I don't.
No, don't speak for him.
Oh, you're asking him that?
Yeah.
No, we haven't recovered. I mean, the mere Oga syndrome tells you that we've not recovered. There's a lot about the Nigerian psyche. You're talking about democracy and talking about the need for people to speak, to believe differently, speak differently.
But have a common goal.
But have a common goal, which will be building the nation. But, our politics is still light years away from a politics in which men stand up for what they believe in. It's difficult. A country in which the system, there's a feeling of, I'm outside of the mainstream. So if as a senator you wanted to speak your mind, check the Senate floor. They hardly differ there. They hardly differ. They don't differ. Some senators, first time elected senators, they call themselves, "Okay, come here, we don't."
They have to play ball.
We know they do like that for a year. Don't ever oppose what the Senate president. So you know that sort of thing. Somebody quoted Ben Ayade. Somebody quoted I think another senator again. They say, here we don't do that. It's not a Luther house. Just as everybody agrees. Yeah.
Don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat. There's no need to rock the boat here. You're committing a class crime. It's a class offense. So that sort of but the question is, what are we getting from that sort of arrangement? It's not helping us anywhere. So that the militaristic view of, the fact that we can still deploy soldiers into elections, deploy soldiers into everything, as if they have the magic cure for everything that happens. People don't even respect the police anymore. But once you hear soldier, people are immediately frightened. Our psyche responds to that thing. So we need to demilitarize the Nigerian mind. That's one. Then in the political space as well, look, the fact that we've been quiet, that those who should speak are even quiet about it, simply shows that the groundwork for the next election
has been laid.
And I fear.
See, but just a minute. Have you heard the street lingo? When you chop, you don't talk. So it's playing out here.
No, great. Of course, and that's where I was even going. I fear, because when these kind of groups are at work, a lot of money gets to be thrown around.
Okay.
And all these monies, where do they normally come from? It's not businessmen's money. It's government money. And you look at the side of the budget now, you look at how much is going to go back.
Borrowed.
Yes, borrowed and go back. It means that these monies are going to go into circulation. So if you begin that now, it means 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. We're going to be spending a lot of money mobilizing. So who do us like this? It's not.
When 15 billion is being budgeted to build the vice president house that was supposedly to be renovated, that is existing already. So you start
not building, refurbishing.
First it was to be refurbished. Now it says for the vice president's house, but I think it's a little vague whether it's to refurbish.
10 billion naira for the president's food.
Okay.
Come on.
And so a lot of money will go to different organizations. Will be
Tochuku, so are we entrapped?
No, we're not entrapped. The situation is bad, but not hopeless.
Okay.
There's still so much we can do to. I know that if things
would we ever get home?
Oh, definitely. I am a determined optimist, and I believe in the Nigerian project. We'll get it right. It will take a while, a lot of stumbling and falling and getting.
Yeah. I'm wobbling. It's serious. Would we ever get home?
We would. I believe that the day will come. So
in your lifetime?
Of course, I strongly believe so.
Okay.
In fact, it should be on record that I, Cyril Abako, did say this day, the 6th of December 2023, that I believe that day is coming and is very closely and very nearly upon us, when in my own generation this country will rise again.
Yeah, but do you know we are not talking about magic here?
No.
We're not talking about magic.
No.
Political evolution.
Yeah.
No, but we're discussing something close to magic.
Okay. The viewer must understand that we're still on Homo Politicus, in which we talk politics and more politics from home, Nigeria. And today we are looking at this issue. Is 2027 here already for President Tinubu? The hawks are at work. We go on a break, but return shortly. Please stay. Your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. All right, folks, welcome back. The question is still there. Is 2027 politics here already for President Tinubu? We believe the hawks are at work. What do I mean? The Consolidated All Progressives Congress grassroots movement, KGRAM for short, has started campaigning for a 2027 outing for President Bola Tinubu. And we're asking, isn't it too early? Okay. My two guests remain Cyril Abaku and Tochukwu Ezukama. Yeah, gentlemen, let's quickly broach the subject of the legislature, whether it should be bicameral or unicameral. We had always had the problem of a consensus at the National Assembly. I don't think the National Assembly, which is the engine room of democracy anywhere on the planet, in our case, is ready to move this country forward. Right, wrong?
You see, during the Obasanjo days, Obasanjo dominated the National Assembly, which was understandable because we were just coming out of military rule, where one man was like the father of the country, dominated everything, controlled everything.
But you told me Obasanjo predominated the 1999 politics.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because we were just coming out of
as a soldier.
No, not because he was a soldier, but just the mentality. One man is a military ruler, was the father of the country, ran everything. So even the legislators were not assertive enough. They allowed Obasanjo to
ride roughshod
over them.
Yeah.
Determine who was to stay, determine who was to go. But after the end of his attempt, I thought, which must have emboldened him or intoxicated him and got him to believe that he can breach the constitution and go for a third term. But after what's his name, Nnamani, I think did a good job at least on the surface to end the
ambition.
I think the Senate became a little more emboldened. But since the Buhari...
Post Nnamani, the Senate became lethargic?
No, post Obasanjo, the Senate became a little...
Post Nnamani, Senate President Nnamani.
Yeah, but even, what's his name, Saraki, couldn't be pushed around.
Yeah.
Saraki was not pushed around. But since the time...
Even though he became Senate President against the run of play.
Yeah, in his own wacky way. You know?
Was he wacky? Was he wacky?
That's my choice.
It's like saying all politics now politics.
Okay.
And
we're talking about your moral side and
course,
your political side.
Of course.
So in this case, my moral side is our political side. Okay, so, but I think since Buhari came and Lawan came and said we are going to almost toe the line of the presidency to facilitate the works of the presidency. And then I think it might even be worse than Lawan. So I think the Senate or National
How do you
Assembly,
determine this?
I didn't say it will.
But such thinking is what gives me the jitters, you know. You are thinking. Yes. You are thinking aloud.
I reserve the right to do so.
Okay.
So I think the Senate...
I'm not going to court.
The Senate is beginning to lose its independence, which is dangerous for Nigerian democracy. I read the 1979 Constitution. I tried to master it. I've not had time to look into these other more recent ones. And the issue was that the president was too powerful. But then...
In 1979?
The 79 Constitution, I think it's better written than this one.
Yeah.
And the present one. So...
Sorry. Is that why we think presently the governors are the more powerful of the two classes?
Governors are powerful because they have stamped legislators. There's no challenge to their authority.
The Constitution gives them the power.
The power, yes. But the 1979 Constitution, there was a serious debate in the House or in the Constituent, in the Assembly that voted or approved of it. If the president is this powerful, is that not dictatorship?
Okay.
Counter argument being that the Senate, the National Assembly, will be a sentinel of democracy, guidance of democracy, and
watchdog.
Watchdog, and will not allow any president to become authoritarian.
Yeah.
So when the Senate kind of relinquishes that responsibility and wants to toe the line of the presidency, it's not good, it's not healthy.
Tochuka, I just remember in the jiffy that in the Second Republic, the first governor to be impeached in this country, Alhaji Balarabe Musa, governor then of old Kaduna State, the state legislature kicked him.
Yes.
Without the promptings from anywhere, because the man refused to give them, believe it, a 50,000 naira largesse at the time.
And then his party was in the minority. It was
Yeah, he was a loner. The government,
exactly.
yeah.
They could handle him any way they wanted. But that was a better constitution, and then
Yeah.
politics then was a little more
Serious. Let's broach it. In the Second Republic, the party was more powerful than individuals.
Yes, exactly.
But this time around, in our Fourth Republic, the parties are not.
There was even the famous episode in which Shehu Shagari left Lagos to go to Ibadan to go and, as it were, pull his cap off for Meredith Akinloye Adisa, who was then
Chairman
of the NPN, famously so. You see, the reality is that when it's like, I always say this, leadership that is not governed by values, that does not have any checks around it, is bound to frustrate and reverse civilization, which is the pain of, how is it that the country that had all the gains it had in the First and Second Republics is suddenly, and not that things were better back then, and there were complaints, of course, but today, the picture is a lot different. We are worse off in the bad areas back then, and we are now bad in the areas that were
so now you say you think we are playing catch up?
No, we're even yet to realize that we are backward.
Oh,
We've not even started playing catch up. He was referring to the subservience of the Senate and of the lawmaking arm of government. He was talking about that if they begin to do this, and do you remember that to appoint the Speaker of the House of Reps, to appoint the President of the Senate, they had to go to the President to donate and surrender their right to do so. No,
then or now?
2023, they went to they waited for the President to make his choice. They went to, Betara was in the running, was in a good place to be President of the House of Reps, Speaker of the House of Reps. He had visited the President, everything was then suddenly they said no, he can't be. The President said he had chosen what's the current Speaker's name? Abbas,
yeah.
Abbas and Benjamin Kalu, which left the North Central out of all the key offices of government. President is Southwest, Vice President is Northeast, all right? CGN is Southwest.
South. Okay.
Senate
South,
President
yeah.
is South. Deputy Senate President is Northwest. Speaker is Northwest. Deputy Speaker is Southeast. So the North Central is not occupying any position whatsoever in government.
But we are reminded in this connection that the APC chairman is from the Central.
No, Ganduje is from the Northwest again.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the problem. You see, the whole government setup has no single North Central politician occupying any position. The so-called compensation...
Where's that problem? Where do you think that problem is coming from?
No, so if you look at the scheme of things, the president and the APC, but largely the president could have chosen better. Because the Senate, look, this was what happened. People in Kano threatened. They said, Mr. President, you know how important Kano is. You know you need Kano. And if we don't have anybody prominent in government from Kano, our party will lose face in this state. So what do? Ideally, with a president from the Southwest and vice president from the Northeast, Senate president should have been, well, it went to South, it's fine. Deputy Senate president should at least have been North Central. Then the speaker would have been Northwest, and then deputy speaker South. So that way, it's balanced. But the president chose a Northeasterner as vice president. So Southwest and Northeast are already in the presidency taking care of. The one of CGN from the Southwest, well, he couldn't have changed that. All right? So everything now falls on Senate and Reps. And since the president had I could almost say chose. Since he literally chose who became what? How do you now go from appointing Senate President South, Deputy Senate President North-West? Speaker should have now gone to North Central. It went back to Northwest.
And I don't know who worked that mathematics.
But this is the point. Sorry. These people that are negotiating, that are doing the cargram, you see, or the group, or at least ones I read about, the story is that the president's foot soldiers or disciples are reaching out to the north to negotiate. Now, this is the thing. You see, the president had to do northwest in the Senate Northwest in the House of Reps. This is because he knows that the Northwest has the number 7 states.
Yeah.
Kano, Zamfara, Kebbi, Sokoto, and so on. Kaduna, so he knows that the Northwest matters. That's what the numbers are going to come. One. Number 2 is the fact that the attempt to go to war with Niger didn't rub off on the North very positively. They are not happy with that stuff. And then a few other things that happen here and there. So they are saying this man that we supported to put. So you even saw the appointments that they have made in the government. That there is a high preponderance of Southwesterners in government that he has appointed. So they are saying, is this the agreement? Is the agreement? I think in a way he needs to reach out to them very early to say, guys, we are on this. So this is where I'm.
Let's take the conversation home. Is 2027 politics here already for Tinubu? Because we fear the hawks are at work already.
Yeah, the hawks are at work because our president is a politician, extraordinary. Oh, is that the right?
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. That's French.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bite my tongue. Okay, but so he is a man that takes no chance. So evidently he's working on.
You had said he's a thoroughbred politician.
Yeah. Ruthless, uncompromising, skillful. So he's working on 2027, and he wants to start early.
So Kegram perhaps has gotten his nod.
Of course, there's an Igbo saying, or my people say it in my village, where silence signifies agreement. Like you rightly said, all this is going on, and the vice president has not said anything, the president has not said anything. Of course, he has his nod, of course.
Yeah, see, how do you bury it?
No, it's easy. The vice president received an audience, a group from the southeast, that said they were going to, that they were making a move for a non-kinetic approach to ending insecurity in the southeast.
Yeah.
The president's people are reaching out to northerners. Somehow, for those of us who are students of politics, it appears that some undercurrent, some subterranean consultations are already underway for 2027. Let's see how all of this plays out.
Okay. Well, you may continue the debate in your homes, wherever you are at. But politics is a zero-sum game in Nigeria, and there's nothing anybody can do about it for now. That's our show for today. Until the next time, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein. All right, folks, don't forget to like and subscribe to our page on all our social media platforms, including YouTube at Enterprise TV 7. Thanks for watching. Your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.